Okay, so have you heard about this whole generative AI thing?
Yeah, it's like everywhere you turn these days, right?
It's wild. I mean, we're talking AI that can write poems, compose music, even create art.
It's pretty mind-blowing stuff.
It really is. But you know me, I like to dig a little deeper. Like, where did this all come from? And what does it actually mean for us?
Right, beyond all the hype.
Exactly. So, to get to the bottom of it, I've been diving into this new book that's coming out. It's called The Age of Generative AI, an introduction by Marc Liron.
Oh, I know that name. He's a former Microsoft MVP, right?
That's the one.
Yeah.
So you know it's got to be good.
Yeah, definitely not just another AI book.
No, not at all. And what I really liked is that it doesn't just focus on what's happening right now, but it gives you this whole historical perspective. Like, how did we even get here?
That's so important. I feel like with all the hype, it's easy to think that generative AI just kind of appeared out of thin air.
Totally. So the book talks about these seeds of generative AI that existed way before all the buzz. Mm-hmm. What's the deal with that?
Well, it's actually super interesting. It talks about how the development of generative AI wasn't always this straight line of progress. There were these periods called like the AI winter.
AI winter. That sounds kind of scary. Like, what even is that?
Basically, it was this time when funding for AI research basically dried up and interest in the field kind of cooled off. But even during those times, people were still working on the underlying technology behind generative AI.
Oh, so it wasn't completely abandoned.
No, not at all. It's just that the progress wasn't as visible or as well funded. Like, think about it. Even back in the 90s, people were developing early chatbots and experimenting with algorithms that could generate text.
Right. Like, those were pretty basic compared to what we have now.
Exactly. They weren't as sophisticated, but they were laying the groundwork for everything that was to come.
Huh. So the technology was kind of simmering in the background all along, even when nobody was really paying attention.
Right. And then, bam, it explodes onto the scene.
And now everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the past covered. But you mentioned the book also looks ahead. What about all the big questions people are asking, like about jobs and ethics? Does it address any of that?
Absolutely. In fact, it dives right into those issues. There's this one chapter, deepfakes, misinformation, and fraud. I mean, it's a bit unnerving.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that sounds like a whole other level of complexity.
It talks about how generative AI can be used to create fake videos that are basically indistinguishable from real life, even manipulate evidence.
That is kind of terrifying when you think about it.
It really highlights the need for critical thinking in this age of AI, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like, on one hand, you've got AI composing these incredible symphonies, and on the other hand, it could be used to spread misinformation and create chaos.
Right.
It's a lot to wrap your head around. So how do we even begin to navigate this new reality?
Well, I think that's what I found so valuable about this book is like it equips you with the knowledge to engage with these issues. It even includes this resource guide for further exploration, which is awesome.
A resource guide. Sounds useful. So, where do you think we go from here? I mean, with generative AI, it feels like we're on the cusp of something huge.
I know, right? One of the things that really stuck with me from the book is this idea of the AI manager.
The AI manager. I don't think I've heard that one before.
Yeah, it's basically someone who doesn't just use AI, but actually manages and guides it. It's like, are we prepared to step into that role? Are we ready to be the ones calling the shots, even as AI becomes more powerful?
That's a really good question. And honestly, I don't know if we have the answer yet.
It's definitely something to think about.
It really is. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. But don't worry, we'll be back soon with even more insights into the world of generative AI. Until then, keep those questions coming.